We got an answer this week as to why Eddie Kingston has been missing from television the past few weeks, and there has been no mention of his match with Sammy Guevara at All Out, which now appears to be off. That is because he was quietly serving out a suspension for pie-facing, or nearly pie-facing, Sammy Guevara backstage after a promo that Sammy cut a couple of weeks ago that they ended up not airing. From Fightful Select, the issue began after Eddie got mad at Sammy not clearing the content of a promo with him first before going out to the ring. And they're told that Eddie and Sammy had not spoken to one another since the Blood and Guts show where he threw Guevara off the top of the cage and he took that big bump through the gimmick table, down below. It was Kingston who actually requested to work with Sammy, since Sammy did not exactly have people lining up to work with him after his feud with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, I saw fan cam video of the promo, since again, it never aired on TV. I saw fan cam video of it. It happened at the Quake by the Lake show during the Rampage taping. Sammy was in the ring, and he referred to Kingston as a fat piece of shit, because Kingston was set to beat Sammy in their match at All Out. Kingston took exception to that because he felt that it would bury the match if Sammy got beat by a fat piece of shit. Kingston tweeted on Friday, "Never totally bury your opponent. This is one of the first lessons about promos that Chris Jericho learned, according to his first book, A Lion's Tale." Evidently, Britt Baker never read that book. But the report further states that the crux of the frustration was how Sammy followed up with this after already being perceived as difficult to work with in working with Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Sanjay Dutt in the months prior to this. In the back, Eddie yelled at Sammy, who smiled back at him. So imagine, I've said before, Sammy Guevara, man, he's a great heel because he's got such a punchable face. Now imagine if you've got Eddie Kingston, right? Here comes this kid, and you're already pissed off about something, and you're yelling at him or whatever. You can't say that. You can't call me a fat piece of shit because, this, that, or the other. And this guy just smiles at you. I could picture the steam coming out of Eddie Kingston's ears. I could just picture it. So Kingston responded by pie-facing Guevara, or he went to. There's different reports about what, whether contact was made and how much contact. It's not like he decked him or anything. But Sammy was very unhappy about this. And it's understandable. Look, I'm not condoning going up to your coworker and punching them in the face or smacking them or whatever, unless there's good reason to do it. And Sammy was very unhappy about this. Tony Khan then suspended Kingston for 2 weeks. No word on whether Sammy was suspended, but I don't see why he would be. Kingston responded to PW Insider when he was reached for comment, and he confirmed the suspension. He said, "You know the truth. I wouldn't lie. I was wrong for being unprofessional. That is a blind fact. He did what he did, and the public can judge that, but I know it for a fact that I was wrong." Guevara issued an apology of his own to Fightful, if you could call it that, and he blamed the altercation on a miscommunication between the two of them. This is I want to read the full statement of what Sammy Guevara sent to Fightful. "As a professional, you can communicate things that you don't want to be said, like other people I've been in programs with and have worked with, like Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho, and others have done. And I did communicate what I didn't want to be said in this angle, but Eddie did not do the same. And Eddie did not mention to me, or the coaches, or Tony Khan, or anybody in AEW, what he did not want to be said. So after Ty and Mai's match with Sky Blue and Dante, I cut a promo on Eddie insulting Eddie and the fans as a heel, which I know the thing everyone loves to do is hate me and Ty, so I'm the perfect person to play this asshole character for Eddie to ultimately beat at All Out. I see what people say online about Eddie and his appearance, which anybody who legitimately shames Eddie for how he looks can go to hell. It's the same people who shame me for being too small. But Eddie did not do the professional thing and communicate to me, which if he did, I never would have said it because the last thing I want to do is hurt somebody for real. So after the promo, I get to the back and Eddie is flipping out, yelling, 'You can't call me fat,' over and over as I'm trying to walk down the stairs in Gorilla, making a big scene. People get in between us, Eddie tries to pie-face me, and he more like touches my face. It was weird. And everybody backs everybody up. It was unfortunate because this promo was on a taped show and easily could have been edited, which they ended up doing anyway. I know this isn't Eddie's first time being aggressive and getting out of control backstage. I know this isn't Eddie's, or I know that he had to do some kind of anger management after this whole thing. This whole thing was very unnecessary, but it is what it is. Live and learn, I guess. On to the next weeko. This whole thing is just completely silly to me. Giving the play-by-play, by the way, for the whole thing the way that he did, he would have been better off just keeping it short and sweet. I don't think he did himself any favors with the way that he worded that. But it looks like the match was scrapped. I don't even think the match is happening now. There was no mention of it at all this week. Even on Rampage, Sammy and Ty had a match. There was no mention about, from what I heard, there was no mention about the Kingston match. But if they do it, they're going to have to change it up now that Sammy gave the fucking finish away, which is just ridiculous. Now, I saw Disco Inferno was trending. I don't even want to mention this clown, but I saw Disco Inferno was trending on Twitter for saying something stupid. What else is new? This time he was going off on wrestlers who complain about being fat-shamed, even though Kingston claims that's not what the heart of the issue that he had with Sammy was. Disco said that those people need to hit the gym and they need to stop being an embarrassment to the wrestling industry. The only embarrassment to the wrestling industry is Disco Inferno and his awful takes that I see floating around my timeline periodically. I know Kingston hit back at him and he said, "The boys only kept you around to laugh at you. I remember hearing the story where Big Show farted in your face. You ain't a man." I never heard that story, and I frankly have no interest in hearing that story. You know, Wikipedia tells me, when I looked it up, that the day that Disco died was July 12, 1979 at Comiskey Park in Chicago. That's wrong. That is incorrect. Somebody is going to have to edit the Wikipedia entry. The day that Disco died is when Cody Rhodes murdered him in a tweet and told him that no fan has ever left a show thinking about Disco Inferno. He gets more attention now for the dumb shit that he says than he ever did as a wrestler. And then he trends. So whenever I see his name trending, I don't even need to look at what he said because I know that I'll be dumber for having listened to it.